Good evening. How are you? I know it's a little delayed, so I got to wait for you to respond back to me. How you doing tonight? Tonight, in here, up in here. Welcome, 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 welcome. Oh yeah, that. There you go. I want to get rid of that. There you go. Ready? Look at that. See, I got it together. I got it together. So what are you talking about? Vision Builders is a coaching and mentoring platform dedicated to empowering individuals to turn their dreams into reality. Through our focused meetings, we provide guidance to support the entrepreneur's career. No, see, I did it all wrong. Let's do it again. Edit this. Through our focused meetings, we provide guidance and support to entrepreneurs, career professionals, and personal brands, helping them discover their purpose and fulfill their destiny. I need to remember that. At Vision Builders, we are building visions from A to Z. Well, we should say we're helping you build your vision to A to Z, because that's the key. We're here to help you focus, learn, get better, build your vision. So many people coming to me since I've been here in Florida. It's been phenomenal. There's a big event coming up. I should have the information to put up on my screen, but they have this big event coming up, and it's a roller skating event, and it's a 4-day event. And I got to meet the young men who are putting it on. Very proud of them. CJ and his boys. I don't remember the rest of them, but I should have had it to put up on the screen. Nevertheless, just being able to talk to them, and they can ask me questions, and I can answer with my experience, and it's just been helpful. And I'm watching, just God just bring a whole myriad of people my way. Definitely one thing about changing your grip, like leaving there and just coming to Florida and making Miami my home, has changed everything. It's opened up so many new doors, and it's just the beginning. But it all comes down to being where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there, right? That's where success comes from, right? Being at the right place at the right time. And if I need to explain that to all my biblical scholars here, you can't cross the Red Sea unless you get to the shore. You can't. They couldn't stay in Egypt and cross the Red Sea. You had to leave. You had to leave everything behind, homes, whatever. And it's miserable, it sucks, but it's my home. Yeah, but you got to leave it. And then you got to get to that place where you can't go anymore so that God can open the sea for you to cross. And a lot of people are like, I'm not going in unless you call me and let me know when the sea is open, then I'll show up. Well, it's not, it usually doesn't work that way, because opportunity presents itself when you bring yourself to opportunity. I'm just dropping gems tonight. Opportunity presents itself when you bring yourself to opportunity. I think opportunity hides. It hides until you get to the gateway, and then it pops up and says, here I am. And maybe that's because you got to get to a place that you find it. But opportunity hides until you present yourself to it. Then it shows itself to you. We get some nice clips out of this.
So wealthy. As a rookie stockbroker in the mid 1980s, I was fascinated by how my Jewish clients and colleagues handle money. Their mindset about wealth was totally different than what I saw growing up in the African American environment. So I got curious. I started asking questions and listening and learning. Then I read a book called The Jewish Phenomenon by Stephen Silbiger, and it all started making sense. Get this, Jews make up only 2.4% of the US population, but over 30% of American millionaires are Jewish. So the question is, why? What's their secret?
That's
I want to
big.
share 8 things I learned from my Jewish clients that transformed the way I thought about money. Here's the first one. Number 1, they prioritized generational wealth and avoided single generation consumption. Whether they were religious or not, many of them lived by Proverbs 13:22, which says, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children.
Okay, so let's pause that. Let's pause that. This is powerful. So here's what he's saying. He's saying they prioritize generational wealth over what I call the bag, or what we call the getting the bag, of immediate gratification. They put the need to see their family successful or leave wealth for others over having everything right now. Now, there's a balance to that, because I remember I went to a phase of my life that everything I did, I was like, okay, I'm preparing this, so when I die, they have. And when I die, she'll have. And when I die, everybody else has. And, after, I would say within the past couple of years, I know I started getting a kick in my spirit, like, but what about while you're alive? Like, what do you have, or what are you preparing for yourself to enjoy while you're here? So didn't mean to go crazy in opulence and ridiculousness, but it did mean, listen, take some time, and when you're dead, people will have what they need. Give them enough to have something and have a comfortable life, but don't starve yourself in the process. But there's a balance though, and the balance is this: you will never have that if you live for immediate gratification. So what he's saying is, nope, it doesn't work. It doesn't work if you are living for today and not building for the future. Then you can stop and say, well, now I've built enough, let me take a time and enjoy some of the fruits of my labor. But if you're trying to enjoy it every drop as soon as you get it, oh yeah, poverty will come on you. I mean, it's just a matter of fact. You can't spend more than you make. I mean, I don't care how bad you want it. And by the way, just as a side note, now all those expensive $30,000 bags and stuff, China has released the factories to America with this tariff war, where people find out that they can get Birkins for $150, $200 instead of $20,000, and they get Nikes for $25 and $30. And people saying they're fake, that's not the real thing. What do you mean it's not the real thing? They make it over there, and then they send it over here, and for them to stick their tag on it. So yes, it's a real thing. And I mean, I know the economy's, that's a whole different thing. But talking about economy, the point I want to make is this: you're spending a lot of money on a lot of things that are not worth much. The Chinese people were saying, for every pair of Nikes, they get $2. And they come over here, and I'm talking about Jordans, and they come over here for sale $250 and $300. So the thing is, stuff that we're making so important and living to have right now, it's not worth much anywhere else. It's just worth a lot to your ego at the moment, and it doesn't support you in the long term. So my point is, what the gentleman just said: build for your future. You'll get to enjoy some of it, but if you're living for the moment, you won't. And it is just what it is. Let's go back to the rest of the video.
You see, they saw money as a tool to empower the next generation, not to just fund their own lifestyle. Number two, they gave assets, not appliances. You see, when I got married, I got toasters and china, and I didn't even have a china cabinet. But several Jewish clients of mine told me, they said, in our families, we give cash or stocks. In other words, they gifted wealth to their loved ones, not stuff.
Whew. 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 They gifted wealth, not stuff. How powerful is that? Right? How powerful is that? And please put your comments, likes, hearts, whatever. But how powerful is that? We gift wealth. We gift securities. We gift bonds. I've watched my son since he's been working now for JP Morgan. And he set up accounts for his kids, policies. They're babies. They got policies. They got probably mutual funds. I don't know what he's setting up, but he's been telling me he's been putting all this stuff into place and setting up all this stuff for them. And that's huge, because he's already saying, I want to start them to build a network of finances and wealth even as children. And that's real big. I just saw a video, which I'll probably run in the future. That's the other one I was looking for, where Serena Williams was talking about how they take their daughter and they make her work and earn money for stuff. And if she spends money frivolously, then they say when she wants something else, and they say, well, you got to save your money up again. You got to go back to work. And then give her the understanding of not just having and splurging, but the understanding of the value of wealth. So, or and the value of an earned item. So let's keep going.
Things that appreciate, not depreciate.
Ha! Things that appreciate. We give them things that appreciate, not things that depreciate. Well, I want a car. That's a depreciating item. A stock, a bond, an IRA, a mutual fund. These are things that are increasing value over time. I saw a video, and this is deep. I saw a video not too long ago where Tony Robbins was saying, if you bought every iPhone since its inception, you spent, and I think he said about $20,000, something like that. You spent. If you had invested that money in Apple, you would be worth somewhere around 30 million or something like that. So we spend the money on consuming and keeping up and getting the latest iPhones instead of buying stock in Apple. Man, that's a sobering reality. And I haven't done as crazy as some of that because I bought stocks and stuff. But man, I did not invest you don't, who tells you to do it? If you haven't learned it, you don't think about it. We got any comments or questions or what we got? Yeah.
Okay, so Talima said, that's why I still got my lunch money from third grade. Ruth said, yeah, China is not playing. Devon said, buy assets, not too many liabilities.
It's a fact, and indeed it's a training. Like I said, learning is one thing, unlearning is another. It's a training that even for me to say, okay, you got money, you don't need to go spend it. It's a process, but you're absolutely right. Talima, I want to see this lunch money you still have. That's crazy.
It's so important to study how to build wealth. Gift that wealth, Edward said. Ruth said, gift wealth, not materialistic things. Yes, that's what all people need to do.
This is powerful, and you guys are spot on. And let me tell you something. In that culture, in the Jewish culture, as he's saying, that's an understanding that they have. It's a natural understanding. And that understanding is we build wealth and we pass it to the generation and we pass the business to them. We, unfortunately, as a people, like, I ain't nobody give me mine. I ain't gonna give you yours. You're gonna have to work for yours just like I had to work for mine. And that's a mindset that's been sold into us that the black parent would tell their kids, well, you got to stop from the beginning like me instead of jump on my shoulder and go to the next level. And that is a very strong unlearning, but it's part of, what was taught into us. I had a conversation a couple of nights ago with a bunch of young men, different races. We were sitting in front outside after we were going skating. We were sitting out having lunch or whatever, snack. And I was like saying to this young gentleman who was there, was Puerto Rican. I said to him, there was a time when I was young, when Puerto Ricans first came here, if you started a fight with one Puerto Rican, every Puerto Rican in the block jumped you. They didn't have to know the people or anything, but it was like, that's my cousin. They jumped in. They stuck together. Not anymore, because they got here into America and they learned that every man for himself mentality. And so now they act the same as us and everybody else who's been there a while. It's every man for himself. And I said, that's because the way success is given to us, they throw a little bit in the bucket and then they say, you'll fight for it. And so, you can't have this whole bunch of everybody saying we all help each other be successful. It's like, no, I got to get mine. And then if you play the game right, then they bring you to the top and they let you be the gatekeeper over the rest of those people below, and you become one of them. It's a horrible thing, but it's a true thing. And so, that mindset of I want to pass down wealth and share the wealth and create a network of wealth, even when you try to do it for people, if a person has not learned that that's the way to go, they don't appreciate it. They don't know how to take that on and take that in. They just don't. It's just not in their nature to do it. Those are usually the people that turn on you, the one you're trying to help. They start trying to figure, why you got this? And I saw that on a post earlier, but I won't go there because that's a whole different story. Let's finish this video. Nope, wrong screen again. There you go.
Number 3, they expected to be wealthy and were embarrassed by it if they weren't. See, I grew up where struggle was normal and wealth was rare. But in the Jewish American culture, financial success was normal and struggle was rare. There was a pride in building wealth and a shame in mismanaging it. That totally changed my mindset. Number 4, they use their pain as fuel, not an excuse. Now this one hit me hard. Jewish people have faced horrific oppression, very much like African Americans have. But instead of being paralyzed by the past, they use their pain as fuel for success. That's exactly what my people, African Americans, need to do. In part 2, I'll break down.
Okay, so listen. Talk to me about what you're seeing there and what you're hearing there. I'm looking for my, what's the name screen? It just kind of, oh, there it is. It's back there. Come on up my screen. There you go. I need to see that. Let me see who's here, what they're saying. We got some very powerful points here. So using the pain to push you forward. And yeah, there are a lot of us who do. There are a lot of us who fight to get to the top. The more you put me down, I'm that person. The more you put me down, the harder I'm going to go out to prove you wrong and kick your behind. But and that's in my nature. And that means family, friends, whatever. You got to take that no, you got to take that put down, you got to take all of that and you got to turn that around. You got to bring that to your benefit. It's really, really key. But then at the same time, I have, and I believe it's just from God, that ability to see other people win with me. I don't know a ton of people that have that mindset. They're always trying to be in the spotlight, or they want to make sure they're the ones who are seen, or they're not happy about other people's success because they're more concerned about their own. And you can make excuses. Well, it's insecurity. It's because of life, because of this. Yeah, whatever. BS. Get over that, right? Either it's in you or it's not in you. And one thing I've learned about people is, and I keep saying it, in most cases it's true. The way it begins is the way it ends. If they're an a-hole when you meet them, they're going to be an a-hole when you leave them. And so, except for with the hand of God and help of God, it doesn't change much. So you have to surround yourself with the mindset of people who like to see other people win like you. And that's what it is. And so why is that important? Because you want to see them win. They want to see you win. It's not a competition against me and you. We're working together toward the same goal. And if you can find a person or people like that, lock onto them, because those people are big. Those people are huge for who you are and what you call to be. And I think if I don't push any other point, that's a point of points. Let's see what we got right here.
It starts from Talima, that's the newest one. He set up his stuff for his niece.
You're going to have to talk out.
Talima said he set up stuff for his niece and nephew too.
Yeah, he did. Right, Marquis. So she's talking about Markel. You got to explain that, because I get it later as I'm going on. So she's talking about Markel, right? He set up something for his kids, and he set up something for his niece and nephew as well. Yes.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Okay. Ruth said that's nice. Edward said that's a great uncle. Okay, and then Ruth said uncle has them. I said I pray we all develop this mindset. And then Lindsay said this is most certainly a mindset shift that I need to practice more. And then I said it starts with us. We can make this change in our family line if it is not already happening.
Yes, we are the ones that we can be the Joshuas of our generation. Yes, we can bring the family into the promised land. Again, if they want to go.
And Ruth said, yes, that's true. I saw a mom got mad at her daughter for spending money on her new wig business and told her to return all the wigs she bought so she can give money for bills.
Wow, that's pathetic. But see, her mom thought logically she was doing something right, right? But it's not, because she's a dream killer, and but in her mind and in her training, with no disrespect to her, that's the way the world works. You work, you pay your bills, you go to sleep, you wake up, you work, you pay your bills, you die. So I was the first in my family to have an entrepreneurial bent out of everybody in my family. Out of all my siblings, I was the only one. And still, like, I have that drive for greatness. And it was never met, really never met with pleasure, but it isn't at first, because your drive to be that is offensive to other people. It's offensive to them. Yeah, go ahead, keep going.
And then Ruth said, the young girl earned that money at her job and she wanted to use her job to help fund her business. I hope her spirit wasn't broken. And then Edward said, yes, foreigners who come to work together, live together, and build together do really, really well.
You know what's funny about that? Who said that, Edwidge?
Yes.
Listen, Edwidge, I went to look at a house one time, that I was interested in buying. And I walked in there, and it was this real wide open room. Like they had taken down the walls, the doors, whatever. And it was like almost like a basement area. It was just so wide the way they did the house. I didn't want it because I felt like it was going to be too much work to kind of get it back to normal. And I said, who owns this place? And the gentleman explained to me, the realtor, that it was an Indian family. And I said, well, why did they make it like this? He said, they all live together. It's like they don't have all these rooms and stuff. They have this big open space, and the family wasn't just father, wife, kids. It was brothers, sisters, cousins. Like he said, when they came over or made it here, they all landed in this place, and they all stayed in this house. And he broke down for me what they did. He said, like the first generation comes along, he said, and they would get on the street or walk up and down the street, and Asians, he was saying Asians, they would sell gum on the train, walking back and forth on the train, selling gums. And he said they save up enough money to then get them a little stand on the corner, and now they got the little newsstand, whatever, and they selling their stuff there, and they get that up enough, and they all of them are doing it. Everybody's doing it. Kids, everybody. You're doing it. You come home, you bring the money, we pile it in the pot, we keep building this pot, and then we get that, and then we go from there to owning a store. Then we wind up owning a store, and then we go, and they come over with this understanding. You're not coming here to say, I want to be in America. You coming over here to work, and you're gonna come here and you're gonna help us build wealth together. And I see it in families, usually in our families. Usually when one breaks out, like becomes a basketball star or a singer or whatever way they become successful, then the rest of the family try to latch their wagon on to that person who made it with entitlement, like they're supposed to have it because this person worked for it. Well, that person now rebels. No, I'm not doing anything for you. You didn't help me when I was on the way here. Matter of fact, you put me down, just like this. She's talking about this woman did with her daughter. Now, if her daughter goes out and becomes successful, hopefully her daughter won't hold it against her. But if she does, she's going to say, no, don't ask me for nothing. Because when I was trying to get here, you shut me down. So now that I'm here, don't ask me for squat, right? Or she may give her enough because I feel sympathy or guilt, because people will make you feel guilt. They will make you feel like, well, now how could you not give to everybody and all your relatives and cousins and stuff who ain't never done anything for you, your wealth, because it's our wealth. No, it's not our wealth. Whereas with those families, it was our wealth. Everybody worked together. Everybody worked for the common good. Everybody worked for the common goal. And they reached that place together. Now, even in that function, limitations still exist. And what I mean by that is this: even the unified goal could be low. Even how high we want to go. Well, how far we want to go? We want to get the storefront, and then you're going to work in the store 16, 18 hours a day, and that's what we're leaving you. And a lot of times the kids in that situation are like, I don't want to be making fried rice or whatever for the rest of my life. I hope that's not offensive, but I'm trying to keep it honest. Like, I want to be something bigger and greater than this. And that can cause a split because the family, like, we provided for you. Yeah, but I want to go to the next level. And now you're telling me I can't. So, with all respect to what her mom was trying to do, her mom may have said, no, you don't understand the value of paying bills. You just want to chase dreams without the reality of paying bills and what life really entails. Then I can understand that. I get that. I totally get that. I don't know both sides of the story, and maybe you know more than me, but a lot of times these people are only coming out of the culture that they understand. I had to work for mine, you have to work for yours. Me, I don't mind passing it on, but I'm definitely not passing on out of a place of entitlement. It definitely would be as a result of you and I built something and we worked together to build it. And like I said earlier in the conversation, God said, you putting all this money aside for when you die. What about now while you're alive? Like, enjoy some of what you worked for. Yes, Lord, absolutely. And so this is the season in time that I still got stuff aside, and I'm going to keep building. I'm still building. To me, I feel like I'm really just beginning. But the key is, if everybody's vision and dream is to get what they can as fast as they can, they'll burn out as fast as they can. And I was looking at a Will Smith interview today, and Will Smith was saying he's got everything. He said the phrase, and I saw the video, I don't know if you saw it, and I'm going to let people speak. He was talking about when you hit rock bottom, you learn. And he made the statement, I can't create a saying called cliff top. So mountain bottom, rock bottom, cliff top. And he said the reaction is the same. You get to the top, you have everything you want financially, everything you always dreamed of, and you still feel empty and open. And you feel like you're going to fall off the top of the cliff and round up right back in the rock bottom, even though you have everything. Because what's missing is who you are and what you are and why you're here, what your purpose is. And he kept saying, you got to find it in you. You got to find it in you. And I was like, no, bro, you got to find that in God. You can't find that in you. Good luck with that. But you're not going to find that in you. It's not in you. That's where you get to that place where things don't mean anything anymore. And it becomes about, why are you here and what's your purpose? And only God can make that clear for me. I speak for everybody else. You do what you want to do. But I've come to realize I don't have Will Smith money, but I've reached a higher height than I thought I would in my life, only to realize there's so much higher to go. But now my reason for wanting to go high is not so I can have a ton of money, so I can, because come on, I'm not going to be walking around with no gold chains all over my neck and spinner wheels on my gold. I'm not doing all that stupidity. I'm past all of that. I'm not running out and chasing girls and going in the club and popping bottles and all that crap. So my thing is always going to be about building a legacy. But then the question is, who's that legacy for? Because who's lining themselves up to receive that legacy and carry it on when I leave? And that's important stuff. So I know there's a lot of stuff popping up on the screen. I can see it. So I'm going to let Nelly read. And please read loud.
Okay. So then I said, I see more African Americans building generational wealth. Jay-Z is one of them. And then Lindsay said, Lindsay just clapped, and I said, I believe it is because of who he surrounds himself with. Okay, then Lindsay said, so true. That's the biggest difference. We can't continue to be a victim in mentality. Mm-hmm. And she also said, we are warriors and not conquerors. Someone who knows you, his name is Leader. He said, Mr. Brown, wow, remember me from the concierge? This is awesome. His name is Leader.
Hey, leader, how you doing? Yeah, yeah, uh-huh. Well, good. Thank you for one. Thanks for joining. Now, and here's the thing: Jay-Z's building generational wealth for a small generation. We're supposed to be and should be in a place, and I'm not saying anything bad about him, that we can build for a generation of us as people, but we can't because everybody's been trained to look out for themselves. And even when you try to help other people, they try to take more from you than they give to you. And I know this from experience. People will use you to take care of them. In the moment that you say, okay, now I'm in a situation, can you help me? And nah, man, I ain't got nothing. Wait, you just borrowed $10,000 from me 2 weeks ago. You don't have $1,000 a day to help me out? Oh, nah, man, I can't do that. I've seen it. I mean, I've seen it. So I know it's true. And I've had a lot of people that are financially well off say the same thing. You just can't do it. You can't carry people because they don't want to build with you. Please keep this in mind. I would say your first obligation is to those who build with you. Family second. Those who build with you. Jesus said it, who are my mother and brethren? Those who hear the word of my Father and do it, them and them only. And that's my thing. Who are my mother? Those who saw the vision and build with me, right? And it's important that the people that work with you are for you and not there for what's in it for them. And you're going to run into a lot of that. People will look at you and see your greatness, and they'll see an opportunity to be a part of what you do, but they don't care about you or your vision. They just care about latching themselves on to what you have so that when you get there, then they can say, well, now you owe me. And that's important because you can support somebody and your family can support you without necessarily being a part of the business, but just be emotional, mental, spiritual support. You know, your mom might not be the phenomenal accountant, but she can, when you come home, when you come home at night and you had a rough day and you feel like the whole world is collapsing around you, she can, pat you on and rub your back and say, baby, massage your shoulder, say, baby, you keep doing it. You're going to make it. Just get on back out there. And that is somebody that supports you. Everybody that supports you doesn't have to literally have a skill set. Sometimes it's emotional support. Sometimes it's mental support. And sometimes it is literally physically and financial support. But bottom line is they push you toward the dream and vision that you're going for. And you have to be able to sort and all this obligation and I owe them and because they've been a long time around me, so I feel guilty. You got to lose all of that. You got to lose all of that. They help or they hinder. They're pushing you toward your dream or they're just trying to ride you to reach their goal. And you have to know it. You got to know it. And you got to know when people are valuable and you got to know when they get to the place when they lose their value. And that's huge. That's huge. Keeping people on the train too long also is a problem because now it's weight. I don't know why I went there, but it fits the story. What do we got here?
Yeah, Devon says some family members are not encouraging. And Ruth said it was a video and it was kind of about saying that she doesn't need to start a business. She needs to help pay bills. But you're right. That mom is only saying what she knows.
That's what she's been taught. That's her life. That's her lifestyle. That's what she's come to understand as what success is. You work and you pay your bills. What are you talking about? You're going to go start some dream. You don't know about no dreams. We dream about paying that rent. It's sad, but it's true. But if she's strong enough, she'll push past that. And that will be actually a leg up for her. Again, what's the last thing he said? Using your hurts or those hurts or those pains as drive to go forward, not to get into a ball and have a pity party. All of us go through pain. All of us go through struggle. All of us go through suffering on one point or another. All of us do. What do you do with it? That's the question. The question is, do you let it break you or do you let it make you? And that's big. Continue reading, but I'm loving this.
Okay, Christine just came in. Hi, Christine. Okay.
Hey, Christine.
Hey, Christine. Okay, so Devon said paying liabilities is not a flex to brag about. Assets bring income.
Facts, facts. And Devon, a lot of us don't know the difference between the asset and the liability. If I sat right here, right now, and said, everybody break down to me what's the difference between the asset and the liability, a lot of people don't know. They just don't know. I'm getting me a new car. That's a liability. It's not an asset. No, it's an asset. I need the car. No, it's a liability because it loses value the moment you pull it off the lot. So it's not an asset. It's a liability. Assets gain or increase value, or at least maintain value as you keep them. Liabilities suck value right out of you. So no, it's funny. You see people, all these chains. Oh, this chain is $1 million. Yeah, I've seen like the entertainers and the rappers and stuff. I paid $5 million for this. It's not worth $5 million. It's worth that to you. It's not worth that to anybody else. Why? Well, if you got a big chain and it has, MC Jammy Jam on it, that ain't worth nothing to nobody. Nobody want to wear that chain. You take that chain to a jeweler, they gonna weigh the gold and they gonna pull them diamonds out and they gonna melt it down to minerals so they can make a chain that's sensible. Or do something else with it. It's no value in it. So that people say, well, I collect gold as an asset. Unless you collecting gold bars, putting you up on game right now. Unless you collecting gold bars, pure unprocessed gold bars, you're not getting no asset. Buying no $50,000 gold chain is not an asset. It's not. That's junk. That's junk. It ain't worth nothing to nobody but you. Try to sell it. See what happens. See if you get that. It's not worth that. So but we're not taught that assets are in things that increase in value. And if you want to know what the number one asset I think you should invest in, that girl who's trying to get the hair to start her business. Invest in you. You're the best asset. You're the number one asset. I'm telling you this right now. I have money in stocks. I have money in bonds. I have mutual funds. I have all of that stuff. And I've been doing that for decades, right? But the asset that has bought me the most and paid me the best is what I've invested in myself. And right now, Vision Builders for me is it is the most powerful asset I've ever invested in. I've invested in other people's business and other people's dreams. I invested in all this kind of stuff because I didn't want to invest in myself, because I didn't believe in myself. But I'm telling you right now, this thing right here is my juggernaut. This thing right here, my last days will definitely be better than my first. I'm doing better now than I ever done in my whole life. And that's real talk. And that's because for now I'm going, let me do something, produce something that totally depends on whether I perform or don't perform. And yes, I have a team. I'm not doing it alone. So my team is with me. But let me tell you something. I've spent so much time trying to see somebody else reach a dream that I finally come to the realization that the real energy is in myself and it's in yourself. And I tell people this all the time. I didn't create this. I've heard it. 90% of the business, 90% of the business is not the product, it's the person. You are the asset. You are the thing that makes that business valuable. You think I'm lying? Look around. It's not because the iPhone and the Apple is the best thing on the market. People buy that for the love of Steve Jobs. Period. The brand. They fell in love with the brand and they fell in love with the man. Bottom line, Tabitha Brown. I don't know if she make any of this stuff, these clothes and all this stuff. I don't know what she makes. She built a brand. People love the brand. Same thing with Jay-Z. I might get flagged. I mean, not flagged, but people coming at me for this. He ain't made a good record in years. It's been a long time since he put out anything good. But he Jay-Z. So he put it out, it's going to sell because people bought into the brand. They love Jay-Z. They love Hove. They don't care about that. And this is what I'm talking about. What's the difference between Air Jordans and regular Nikes? Made in the same factory, same Chinese factory, because his logo, that jumper, that's why. It's people fall in love with brands, and the brand is you. So if you're trying to build something, stop looking at, well, how I'm going to push this and push that and push this. People will love you, and their loyalty to you will make them support your project. And that's something that I finally said, You spend so much time trying to push everybody else, but you are the product. And so here I am. I'm your product. You're here to hear what I have to say because it's encouraging. And what I try to do with everything that I do going forward and everything I'm doing is trying to say to you guys, I'm here. I'm Moses. I'm going to help you get to the other side. If you're willing to go with me, well, no, I want to be Joshua. I want to be Moses. Moses wound up effing up and losing everything. I want to be Joshua. That's who the ministry has been. But we can enter the promised land, and some is going to come in and some is not. Either way, I'm going to lead. And what does leaders do? They lead from the front. So I'm not going to stand there and write a book and tell you how to do it, and I'm not doing it already. I'm going to do it in front of you. I'm going to hear your pain. You're going to watch me. You're watching me right now. If you think about it, you're watching me figure this out. You're watching me walk through this. You're watching me learn the yeses and the nos and the do's and the don'ts and the hurts and the nots. You're watching me do it to be the example to you that it can be done. It shall be done. It will be done. And at my age, 66 years old, I'm doing it. And I'm doing it better than a lot of young folk that I know because I made the decision that it's my time. And if you make the decision that it's your time, nobody's going to stop you. But as you go forward, don't go forward to accumulate things. Don't go forward for instant gratification. Go forward to build the legacy and to build yourself something that you can get to the place one day that you can stop and breathe and say, now I want to invest into some other things. And that I wish somebody had told me. Tell me what we got.
Okay. So Edwin said, support is everything when you are building. But she also said, always remember your purpose. Who's your legacy for? I never saw it this way. The true definition of generational wealth is for an actual generation, not just your own family. She said that's mind blowing.
That's true.
Yeah, support is everything when you are building. And then I said, invest in you. You are the number one asset, just like what you said. Esther has a question. Can you explain what do you mean by when they lose their value? When people are around you lose their value. Can you explain that?
Oh, yeah, sure. I absolutely can. Thanks for the question, Esther. So think about this. And this is not a put down on a person, but this is a powerful understanding that you need to have. When you bring a person on, you bring a person on in the place usually, or you're attracted, you're attracted to birds of a feather, right? So you bring somebody on and they may have a drive like you have, and they may have, a fire that you have, or they may be above you in terms of where you want to be. And wow, they're further than me. And so you come in there and you think, wow, this person, we could take the world together. But you didn't ask them. They don't want the world. They just want to get to level 2 and I'm good. And you're like, no, we got the same energy, we got the same everything. And in that beginning, because they know more than you, they bring you up to a point in terms of encouraging. And then they may bring you up another level, but then they stop. They're done. You want to go further. They're good where they are. So keeping that person around you now becomes a weight. As you continue to climb up, they wind up being a noose around your neck, choking you as you try to go. They lost their value. Not that they're valueless people, but their value was on floor number 2. You want to go to floor number 100, and they're on floor number 2. They lost their value. Don't say they're good people. When I take the elevator down to 2, I'll stop and see you and have a good time. But you don't have the value that's necessary to go any higher with me. You don't want to. Again, it's not a put down for them if that's where they've decided they want to be. But when they become toxic is when they try to shame you for wanting to go higher, or they get jealous of you because you've gone ahead of them. And I see this with people all the time. You bring them in and you try to keep them around because they were there from the beginning. And let me just tell you this for the record. Nobody deserves the right to be with you forever because they were there from the beginning. You don't owe them. You don't. You gave them you like they gave you them. But now this is a level that you move into, and they're not moving there. And don't want to or can't. Doesn't matter. Their usefulness in your life and their value in your life has dissipated to nothing. And if you keep them around, that what was once valuable has now become a hindrance and an obstacle to you, and they will break your stride if you don't remove them. That's an answer. That's a good place to say, you ready, let's grow. Go ahead, Talima.
Yeah, she says, when you outgrow people, you have to learn to separate, or they will bring you right back where you were.
She said it exactly word for word. They will. They will keep you there. They're anchors now. They're anchors now. They once were help, but now they're anchors. And once they become anchors, you have to make the hard decision to say, you can't go with me any further. We're good. And that, whew, that's one of the hardest things people have to do. So yes, that's a good answer. That's the answer to the question. Read Talima's thing again. That's powerful.
Talima said, when you outgrow people, you have to learn to separate, or they will bring you right back where you were.
You heard that, right? They'll bring you back where you were. I'm not saying they're mean and evil and disgusting and all of that. No, the thing that's disgusting is that you would allow somebody else's lack of vision to destroy yours. That's the evil, disgusting part. Everything else. Come on, give me some comments in here, people, and some likes and some hearts and some stuff like this, so the algorithm will push me and we can get all the way up there to the numbers we need to get to. Show some love up in here. I'm dropping gems. I'm giving you free stuff in here. Listen, you pay for courses to get this kind of stuff. I'm giving it to you. I'm throwing it out there. Come on in here and show some love, some likes, some whatever, some claps, some waves, some whatever you need to do. Get in these comments. And when the video posts, share it with somebody. Talk to them and say, hey, I saw this thing, man. I was on this live and it was fire, and I want to share this with you. I've already gone over time, so I'm going to start to wrap up. But I think we got some good fruit today. We got some good gems. We got some stuff that we can start to build from. So the main anchor was, we're not working now for immediate gratification. Yes, you should enjoy, but start building toward that future. In other words, if you want to be able to live off of an apple tree for the rest of your life, you got to plant that tree. And there's perennials and there's annuals. And one produces the fruit as soon as you plant it. Like a tomato or something like that, you get that fruit from that vine right there within 6 weeks, whatever the case may be. But then there's these other things like trees that you plant, and you may not see the fruit from it for years, but it'll keep reproducing every year, where the vines, they produce every year, and then they die, and you got to plant the seed all over again. So keep this in mind. Keep on growing. Keep on pushing. Keep on learning. More important, and listen to me close, keep on learning yourself. Learning a bunch of information is nothing of value if you keep putting it in the same container. If you're the same mess that you were and you learn something new, you're going to take that new thing that you learned and you're going to turn it into mess again, because that's the way you see yourself, or that's the way you perceive your life. So listen what I'm saying. Keep learning, keep growing, keep perfecting, but let the first thing and the first project be yourself. And then you are ready, you're increasing your ground, that when new things come to you, you can put them into place. If a building has a 10 by 10 foundation, you can't go but so high with it before it falls over. If you want to go higher, you got to increase the footprint to make it go higher. And you got to understand how that system works. So continue to grow, continue to mature, continue to be the best you can be within you, so that everything you learn sticks to you different. I'm going to go through a few more things, a few more statements, and then we're going to say goodnight. What else we got?
Okay, Talima said, I learned that the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lindsay said, hardest lesson learned, but worth the separation, especially when they've been with you for so long. Tenure does not equal growth.
Tenure.
Tenure, thank you, does not equal growth.
Mm-hmm.
We can't settle based off of obligation. We all must grow continuously.
Amen.
And then Edward says, we are not working now for immediate gratification.
This is it. You guys got your lesson for the day, and I hope you received from it. Go to the page, like my videos, aim people at me. Get them here. Get them learning. Get them learning what you learn. Take from it. You're going to be all right. It's ours to have, and you're never too old to do it. You ready? Let's grow.